Welcome back to South Garda Karting in Lonato. We're preparing for Superheat number 3, the first for the junior category. We started with 90 drivers here this weekend. We take a look at the right side of the grid for you. That was Teo Vernison ahead of Timur Kuharczyk. We saw him in action already this morning for the Baby Race Paralympic team. In the final of the heats this morning, this is Conrad Larsen from Denmark, Copenhagen. Behind him sits Alexander Gabanko, who went wheel-to-wheel with Kuharczyk in the final heat of this morning. This is Superheat, somewhere between a heat and a pre-final event there to Vesh for the Lennox Racing Esprit Vortex team. Starting ahead of Laurens van Oppen, also from the Netherlands for Ricky Flynn Motorsport. Midam Pingasov, the Russian Spaniard DPK Racing in the FA kart. Starts a spot ahead of Andrej Petrovic from Serbia in the magnificent RS kart from Germany, the new team of Ralf Schumacher. Andrej Petrovic not long out of the mini category, and he lines up on the 9th row of the grid. This is the opposite side. We make our way back down. Christian Ho, the Singaporean. A lot of racing on the KF1 circuit down on the equator. Enzo Trulli, the Italian in the CRG. Lines up behind Maxim Soldatov. The Russian in the energy kart. The karts are pushed into life. And we're ready for Superheat number 1 for the junior category here at South Garda Karting in Lonato. The track that is always being extended. There is always work happening. There is always someone here at the track, a staff of more than 20. And that swells dramatically during a weekend like this. 310 drivers from 43 nations as we take a look at the grid for Superheat number 1 for the junior category. Andrea Antonelli for Team Rosberg on pole position alongside Nikita Bedrin from Russia. Vernison that you got a glimpse of a moment ago. The Swede starts alongside James Wharton, who comes from the other side of the planet in comparison to Teo. The Koski Motorsport driver, Resiko, Kuharczyk, Soldatov, Larsen, Trulli, Kubenko, and the Singaporean Christian Ho alongside Levente de Vesh. This is a 15-lap, 18-kilometre race. There's Trulli going through. Down the hill they go. To the right of your screen, the blue and yellow kart of Andrea Antonelli emulates Ken Block on the roll-up lap. Maximum temperature as best he can into the Vega tyres. Bedrin on the outside of the front row of the grid. The cut-through part of the circuit, work done only a few weeks or months ago over the Christmas break. We set for the start. In another lap's time, not this time. We go around again. Yes, as we say, always something happening here at Lonato. This circuit built back in 1988, always someone here testing, racing. Even the higher kart circuit, which does good business in summer, considering we're just a few miles south of, a few kilometres, south of Lago di Garda, the tourist spot here in northern Italy. Always work being done to improve the facility here, which is home to so many of the world's best kart racing teams. So this is Superheat number 1 for the junior category, 15 laps, 18 kilometres, under the control of Andrea Antonelli for Team Rosberg in the Kart Republic. We come up to the line, we look for the green, which we now have. And Bedrin has missed the start. No problem for Antonelli. He leads these 34 karts down into turns number 1, 2 and 3. The never-ending sweeper. The bottom of your screen, that's Rocco Mazzola, who started from pit lane half a lap down. Nice, clean, smooth start down into turn number 4 for the first time. Antonelli will lead them down the hill. Great start by Teo Vernison. The Swede up into P2 ahead of Kuharczyk. And his Bedroom back in 4 ahead of James Wharton. 34 starters and 34 drivers still circulating on this, the first of 15 laps. Andrea Antonelli leads this superheat number 1 for the junior category. We started with 90 drivers, we're down to 68. We're trying to find the final 34. At the moment, Antonelli is the best of them ahead of Verneson, Kuhacik, Bedrin, Wharton, Soldatov, Van Oppen, Gubenko, Resico and Conrad Lawson rounds out the 10. So Verneson, the Koski Motorsport entry, as James goes down the inside and takes Bedrin. But the Russian gets the Australian back on the exit. He'll have to try again. They both lost time with that maneuver. And sitting in behind them is another Russian, Maxim Soldatov. Lorenz Van Hoppen splits the Russians. The Dutchman ahead of Alexander Gubenko in position number 8. But Lorenz in that battle right there on screen for Ricky Flynn Motorsport as James tries to get by. But Nikita's having none of it. Antonelli continues to lead. Verneson absolutely on the limit. Bedrin drifts wide. Can James get him into turn number 4? He needs to do something fast because here comes the freight train. Bedrin white lines it. Lawson tries the outside line. Will they make it through alive? It is still Bedrin as they go up the hill. They're 2 wide, they're 3 wide, but they have to sort themselves out going into the old turn 5 chicane. Antonelli, Verneson and Kuhacik 1, 2 and 3 at the bottom of your screen, pulling away from the rest of the field. It's getting ragged in superheat number 1 here at Lonato. This is the end of lap number 3 and Antonelli has a lead of 0.3 of a second. Here's Maxim Soldatov, the Russian in the energy cut. Loses time to Resico. You can see the under investigation board is coming out for the 385 cart. It's not anyone in the first group. It's in fact Rocco Mazzola who did start from pit lane, an incident for one of the Ward Racing drivers off screen. Alexander Partishev, the Ukrainian, down at the bottom of the field. So we focus back on the leader. This is Andrea Antonelli, a superb run in the heats yesterday. Taking 3 heat wins. There is Kuhacik, Baby Race Paralin. Koski Motorsport of Teo Verneson. The TM-powered Cosmic absolutely on the ragged limit in this turn 2 right here a moment ago. 2 wheels off the deck as he threw it in sideways, trying to keep track of the leader, Andrea Antonelli. A fastest lap for the young Italian. 49.36 plays Teo Verneson's 49.4. So he's pulled away 1/10 of a second, 4/10 now the gap. There's Kuhacik going through. We wait. And it's Bedrin, Wharton, Resikov, Gubenko, Van Oppen, Soldatov. The other Russian has fallen back to P9 in the energy cut. 1 spot ahead of the Singaporean Christian Ho, who rounds out the 10. Antonelli barely makes a mistake. Look at him work the pedals on the Kart Republic chassis. Very decisive braking. And the same can be said for the acceleration. Waits for the kart to come round, straightens up, and then he's on the throttle. The KR kart grips up, and he pulls away from Verneson. Another 1/10 of a second as he puts in a 49.213. They're not far off their qualifying times here in the sunshine. The Vega and Bridgestone rubber being painted onto the bitumen. A big accident further off the screen. The Cosmic Kart coming to grief. Coming onto the straight. That was a big moment for Ville Malja, the Swedish driver. Joins Partishev and William Wallenstein as retirements. That crash with the German driver Lily Zug. She was able to continue on, but she's down the bottom of the field. Coming onto the straight, the battle continues for 4th and 5th place. This time James has gone through, and Nikita, there's Timek Kuhacik going through in P3 for the Baby Race Paralin team. Verneson driving the wheels off that Koski Motorsport kart, the TM-powered Cosmic. So James has finally got through on Nikita Bedrin. We go back to position 6. Lorenzo Resico, Maxim Soldatov gets by Van Hoppen. Alexander Gubenko, a Russian in 9, then it's Ho. Conrad Lawson, Levent Dedevesh falls to 12. Huang, the Chinese driver, ahead of Marcus Aman. And the driver who has lost out badly off the start, Enzo Trulli. 3.93. The Italian in position number 15. Remembering he won the Margutti Trophy at this circuit a year ago. He also won a round of the DKM German Championships right here at South Garda in season 2018, but he runs in 15, made that 20th. As they come across the line, he's lost a ton of time. His countryman Bertuca Paparo going through. So Marcel Kuch. So Enzo Trulli just a spot ahead of Charlie Wirtz, the Austrian driver for Manetti Motorsport, who is the son of 1986 BMX world champion Alexander Wirtz. But if you're watching this live coverage, you're probably more familiar with Alexander's work behind the wheel of a Benetton F1 car in the late 1990s, early 2000s. Charlie Wirtz ahead of Paolo Ferrari, Joel Grant-Furls, Andrei Petrovic, Daniel Greger, Lorenz Lesertua, Mark Schmitz, Theo Ringdahl in the Luxor kart, still circulating ahead of the Peruvian Rafael Montanese. And no surprise to see Antonelli goes into the 48s now with another fastest lap. The gap now 9/10 of a second. Can anybody catch the young Italian? Past half race distance, super heat one. The junior drivers on the grid preparing for the junior super heat 2, including Alex Dunn, Thomas Tembrinkes, Spina, Zhivnov, Jamie Day. Can they take the fight to the Italian? So Bedrin going through in position number 5, James Wharton from Melbourne in 4th. Hasn't exactly pulled away as we look at Enzo Trulli. He's out. Oh, a disaster for the young Italian. Enzo Trulli is out. He didn't get a good start. He fell outside the top 10 to 15th. When we last checked, he was in 20th. Now Enzo Trulli is a retirement, along with Alexander Partishev. Ville Maglia, after that big crash, just rolls to a stop. Truly devastated. And we'll be waiting to see the results of Super Heat 2 to see if he even makes it through to the final 34 this afternoon at the circuit, as we say, where he won the Margutti Trophy 12 months ago. 48.860 now for Antonelli. Lowers the mark of the best lap of this race so far. Wernerson lapping in the 49s. In fact, Antonelli, the only driver to break into the 48-second bracket. 0.2 of a second faster than every other driver on the last lap. Bedra back to 5, Resico 6, Van Oppen, Maxim Soldatov, Christian Ho, and Conrad Lauser. There is the Koski Motorsport driver, Theo Wernerson, now 1.1 seconds behind Antonelli, and a similar distance back to the pole, Timek Kuharczyk in the baby race Paralin. Let's watch the time. Antonelli, 1.1 seconds, another fastest lap. He goes 48.74 now. Wernerson, Wharton, Nikita Bedrin, they're also into the 48s as well, as is Resico and Ben Hoppen, but time is running out. Just 3.5 laps now remaining. Timek Kuharczyk, the baby race Paralin, runs in position number 3. Antonelli must be an absolute red-hot favourite to take out the Winter Cup here this afternoon. The list of winners of this historic race is impressive. Williams Formula One driver George Russell won the race in 2012. Christian Lundgaard, the Dane, won in 2015. Harry Thompson won this event 2 years ago. Alessio Lorandi won the Winter Cup before taking the World Championship in 2013. Later that year, Dennis Olsen in 2011. We go right back to 1998 when Marco Ardigo, who's racing in KZ2, won the first of his 3 victories in the Winter Cup, driving a CRG-powered CRG 100cc Junior Intercontinental A-Kart. And surely Antonelli is looking good to add his name to the winners list of the Winter Cup here this afternoon. There's Kuharczyk going through. Baby race Paralin, team of Sandro Lorandi, based Only about 15 minutes or so drive from the South Garda karting circuit. They spend so many days here racing and testing. Team manager Roberto Toninelli, who himself won the Winter Cup twice in Formula Super A back in the glory days. Super A in 1998, he won the title for CRG, and also the year prior in a Titan-powered Haas. As Antonelli comes down the field, incredible history here at Lonato. There's Wernerson, there's Kuharczyk, there's James Wharton, Bedrin, the Russian, behind the Australian, the Italian Resico goes through, head of Van Hoppen, Soldatov, Christian Ho, Lausen, Marcus Amand. Go back to Pingasov, Paparo, Marcel Kuch. That was Paolo Ferrari going through in the 390. Blue and yellow gold card. It is a paradox. It is correct. Paolo Ferrari, position number 19. And Charlie Wirtz, the Austrian, inside the top 20. Last lap of the race. Andrea Antonelli again, a 48.737. He's like a robot. The kid from Bologna, 1.7 seconds ahead of the Swede Teo Wernerson. Looking all but unstoppable here this afternoon. 3 corners now remain into the second last. And as he rounds the final bend, the checkered flag comes out for the boy from Bologna for Team Rosberg. And he takes the junior superheat number 1 here at Lonato this morning. Wernerson across the line in P2, Kuharczyk was 3rd. From James, Nikita was 5th. Ahead of Lorenzo, Lorenz, Maxim, Christian, and Conrad Larsen, the Dane from Copenhagen, rounds out the top 10. The race winner on screen. Has there ever been a more red-hot favourite for the final than the kid you're looking at? The Iami-powered Kart Republic 367, looking good for the final for Team Rosberg. Struggles to get it up onto the scales. It does do so. The Kart Republic team, as ever, managed by Dino Chiesa, the legend himself, who has managed so many drivers over the years. The likes of Giorgio Pantano, Danilo Rossi, Alessandro Manetti, so many others. Nico, of course, with Team Rosberg. There's Teo Wernerson. And now they've got a star with young Andrea Antonelli. There's Timur Kuharczyk, 374. We'll need to find another 10th of a second, because I can tell you, Antonelli did a 48.627 on his final lap. Another fastest lap as he takes superheat number 1 here at Lonato. Wernerson 2nd, Kuharczyk, James P4 ahead of Nikita Bedrin. And it was Lorenzo Lorenz, Maxim, Christian Ho, Conrad Lausen, Marcus Aman, and Levente Revesh. Ariel Elkin, good recovery from him from Haifa in Israel in the Maranello for the SRP racing team. Head of Alexander Gubenko. Great to see Christian Bertuca finishing that one after some bad luck earlier on. The boy from Milano ahead of Pingasov, Paparo, Ferrari, Marcel Kuch. And Charlie Wirtz, the Austrian, rounds out the 20. Antonelli, the lightning red-hot favourite, whichever cliche you'd like, looks all but unstoppable for the final later this afternoon. We take a look at the replay of the highlights of Superheat number 1. He took the lead off the start of the race, and from there, they didn't see which way he went. He set fastest lap after fastest lap. This was a big crash early on involving Ville Maglia, the Swedish driver. There's Enzo Trulli. Bad luck for the Italian. He was another retirement along with Zhizheng Huang from China. Party chef, the Ukrainian Vilma Valenstam in the Esprit car also did not see the checkered flag, which was waved to Andrea Antonelli. He wins Superheat 1 by 1.9 seconds from Wernerson and Timur Kuharczyk. Superheat number 2 in just a moment here at Lonato. We'll take a very short break. Back with you in just a moment. The 24th Winter Cup here at South Garda Karting.